I'm trying to remember at what age I realized what animation was. I think it was flip books.
Flip books?
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
There's a little book you'd flip through, you make the connection then. Oh, This is a cartoon. And it's on paper right in front of me.
My brother used to make flip books. He'd just have little bouncy balls going around.
Sure.
I thought he was a genius.
That's all it takes.
And as before there were post-it notes all together, he had to find other ways that pieces of paper were attached to each other. It was the 70s.
I still don't know how they match the voices with the mouths. That's still beyond me. I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good, it might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement.
That is a shirt.
I wore this shirt to prepare you for eye-popping visuals and brilliant colors, such as the sky of blue, the sea of green, in our Yellow Submarine.
That was a great toss. Spun in midair.
Released in 1968, starring John Clive, Paul Angelus, Jeffrey Hughes, and Peter Batten as the Fab Four. Don't worry, the actual Beatles do appear in the movie eventually. The four lads from Liverpool were dissatisfied with their previous film, Help, which we watched in episode 28 of this show. They saw an animated movie as an easy way to fulfill their three-picture deal with United Artists. In the middle of production, voice actor Peter Batten, who is the voice of George, was discovered to be a deserter from the British Army of the Rhine in Germany and was arrested.
I'm sure this happens all the time in the high-stakes world of voiceover work.
The rest of George's lines were performed by Paul Angelus, who did the voice of Ringo and various other voices in the film. Time magazine called Yellow Submarine a smash hit, delighting adolescents and aesthetes alike. If you take a trip on down to Penny Lane, you'll find out that, baby, you're a rich man. Mind that tax, man, and don't turn into a mean Mr. Mustard, because after all, it can't buy you love. Where music meets finance, you'll find today's gift.
I hope it'll help me fix a hole where the rain gets in. A piano bank coin sorter. Oh, okay, that's clever.
Go home and get out your change and just have a good time.
I was just thinking about doing that. Well, I have that mug of change on my dresser. Things are gonna change. I can feel it.
Full steam ahead to the old leather couch as we break the surface and watch the animated Beatles film, Yellow Submarine.
It's a beautiful day in Pepperland,
where the people live a pastoral, musical existence.
Excuse me, I was told to meet a plasticine porter here. It's the monument to subtle tipping. In the mountains outside of town is an army of blue meanies.
They hate Pepperland and they hate music. The Blue Meanies launch a full-scale assault on Pepperland,
using arrows and fingers and apples.
They send in their ground troops. This declaration of war was not passed by the Blue Meanie Congress or the House of Representatives.
Everyone turns gray and they stop moving around at all.
Todd Rundgren has been killed by the Blue Meanies. But there's one guy who evades the Blue Meanies' attacks. His name is Fred, and he's a military man. He goes and finds the mayor of the town, who's in a string quartet, and he tries to convince him that the Blue Meanies are coming.
What are you going to do?
What you gonna do when they come for you? So which one's a Beatle?
Set sail in the Yellow Submarine and get help.
Go on without me, says the Lord Mayor. I'm gonna stay here and get beset by apples. And the music starts.
In the land of submarines.
Oh, I woke up one day and I took some LSD. Then I wrote this song about a yellow submarine.
Submarine!
We all live in a yellow submarine.
We all live in a basement.
Yes, we do. I live here. Fred sails through full fathoms of the deep, passing any number of things along the way.
Meanwhile, in London, or is this Liverpool?
Or Tatooine.
Over there in England, we learn about all the lonely people through a little song called Eleanor Rigby.
All the lonely people Where do they all come from?
It's questions like that that makes them lonely people.
Eleanor Rigby.
Oi! Finally, he comes to a bleak little English town where he finds a bleak little English man named Ringo.
Liverpool, more like living hell.
Then he notices that he's being followed by this banana-colored submergible vehicle. I will worship this Egyptian god. Stop saying that word.
The submarine follows Ringo to his mansion, and Fred pops out and says,
Won't you please help me?
I get it. Later, when he's feeling amorous, he'll say, won't you please me? We need some help over there in Pepperland.
Sean Penn will get me friends.
Sean Penn will get your friends? This mansion is a wonderland of strange sights.
It's the Munchies room.
Frankenstein?
It's Frankenstein's monster. You f***ing scoose git. Oh, get the sedative.
Sedative?
They go find John. He's actually a Frankenstein monster, which I'm sure means something. They find George, and he's having his guru moment up on top of a spiritual mountain inside his closet.
They blew their mind out in a car.
They should have let a baby drive their car. And then Paul just shows up looking all pretty and everything.
What's the matter, fellas? Blue Meanies.
Will you help us out? Sure, we're not doing anything better. Let's go.
All together now, all together now, all together now, all together now.
All together.
All together now. All together
now. Damn it. They sail through the Sea of Time, where they find out that Einstein's theories are correct. Everyone starts to age in reverse. Benjamin Beatles.
Something strange is happening.
He just said something strange is happening. It's taken this long for someone in this movie to say that. Then after they pass a certain point, they start to age forward in an accelerated rate. Soon they're all old men with enormous beards. Will we still need these fellows or even feed them when they're 64?
When I get older, losing my hair.
You don't lose your hair, Paul.
Yeah. A remarkable head of hair. Good news. You'll be older too. Don't think you're going to be like, no, I'm going to go off with a young man. No. You're losing in this situation as well. And then time goes back to where it was a minute ago. Then they go to the Sea of Science.
Sea of Science.
She's tidied up the Sea of Science and I can't find anything.
Science happens.
It doesn't really matter what chords I play.
It does kind of matter what chords you play, George, if you want to keep your job.
Yeah. This is him complaining about only having 2 songs per record.
Whoa, hey, whoa, it's Invisible Colors. Cool.
Oh, jeez. That's hard to watch.
Then you ever wonder where sea monsters come from? Maybe the Sea of Monsters.
One of them gets into the sub.
He's so ugly. Really ugly.
Beatles are so mean.
That one.
This one.
God damn it, Ringo.
The rest of the band says, poor Ringo, he's gone.
Now Ringo's gone. What are we going to do?
Learn to sing trios.
Don't bother trying to rescue him or anything.
Das Boot. They see Ringo again, and they're like, well, maybe we should try to save Ringo. And they don't. Then Ringo is brought home by the cavalry. Then they're in this white place, a nowhere of sorts.
There's problems with the engine.
They see this fellow who looks like this. He knows everything, and he talks in heroic couplets.
Ad hoc, ad loc, and quid pro quo. So little time. Ha ha, so much to know.
Punch. And he fixes their engine for him. But is he a regular man? No.
He's a real nowhere man.
That was a lot of lead up to this one, too. When I think of the Nowhere Man, I'm going to think about this asshole. This is one of my favorite Beatles songs. It's going to be like, yeah, he's going to have a blue face and he's going to write things with his feet like a Nowhere Man does.
Nowhere man, please. Making all his nowhere plans for nobody.
He fixed your engine.
They sing a song about him, which makes him sad.
Okay, men, all aboard. Let's go somewhere.
You know, the Beatles are real cruel bastards in this. Ringo invites Jeremy to join in the journey. Jeremy tries to help out by fixing the rotor of the ship, but he winds it too tightly, and the ship takes off without them. Oh, we should never have invited this freak along with us. The Beatles proceeded to beat the crap out of Jeremy for screwing everything up.
And then ate his turkey flesh.
They're walking around this field full of heads.
The foothills of the headlands.
Well, as long as we're here, we might as well sing a song.
Picture yourself in a boat on a river.
Where a bunch of heads are next to a bunch of other heads.
Follow her down to a bridge by a fountain.
So when we're following her down, it's a donkey?
Picture yourself on a train in a station.
John, I've been doing all the things you've been instructing me to do, and I'm just confused.
All I'm doing is picturing myself in things.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Suddenly they see this weird dust on the ground. It's pepper. A bunch of these heads inhale the pepper, and they sneeze the lads right into the sea of holes. This is way more holes than it takes to fill the Albert Hall. Way more.
How many do you think there are in all?
Enough to fill the Albert Hall.
Ringo finds a loose hole and he puts it in his pocket.
I've got a hole in me pocket.
Ringo. This is the Aphex Twin remix of Yellow Submarine. Finally, they make it to Pepperland and they are reunited with Fred and the Yellow Submarine.
They encounter a pile of apples.
Look at this pile of corporations.
And they discover the Lord Mayor. They sing a chord.
And you got time to rectify, all time to rectify.
Oh my, you look just like my friends in the Lonely Hearts Club band.
George is throwing gang signs there. What the hell? East End forever. They have to pose as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That will defeat the Blue Meanies. The Gay Undertakers Union has arrived.
There's Martha, my dear. That's Michelle, my belle.
Julia.
Lovely Rita. She's the meter maid.
We then see a series of covert Beatles operations. They sneak into this gazebo.
Shh! Keep the noise down.
Keep the noise down.
It's the uniforms.
I'm George Harrison. Keep the noise down.
And they find the instruments and they find the uniforms. They try to be as quiet as they can because they're surrounded by sleeping Blue Meanies. But somebody steps on a bagpipe and wakes everyone up.
And they make a run for it.
Finally, the Beatles play the signature song of the Lonely Hearts Club Band.
It was 20 years ago today. Sgt. Pepper taught the band to play.
Oh, they're bringing everyone back to life.
Yep, so they can just stand there in color.
Get the hands and destroy an upstart.
This isn't really the best way to talk to be understood.
But the Meanies regroup and they decide to... We all know the only thing you need to truly defeat the Blue Meanies.
All you need is love.
All that was destroyed at the beginning of the movie is put unsundered.
And inside this glass globe,
It's the original Sgt. Pepper's band. The Lonely Hearts one. You know, they have a club.
luckily Ringo's got that hole in his pocket.
And out they come.
And they look just like him.
Now there's two of each of them.
The Blue Meanies attack again with a team of bulldogs. Hey, they're pretending they're coins, which prompts this little tune.
Sheepdog, standing in the rain.
It's a deep cut. It's cool if you don't know it.
What makes you think you're something special when you smile?
I bet you thought you're something special when you smile. You're not. Oh, maybe you are.
Hey, bulldog!
They find Jeremy. He's been captured by the Meanies and they set him free. Jeremy squares off with the head Blue Meanie and he defeats him with a bunch of flowers. The Meanies are finally driven off. But John calls out to them and says, hey, you can come and live with us. We can all live in peace.
Number 9. Number 9. Wait a minute. Who's that? It's the Beatles. Thanks for stopping by our movie. Let's all sing a song together.
1, 2, 3, 4. Can I have a little more? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I love you.
This song is just a walking, talking Wes Anderson film. And that is that.
And we live a life of ease in our yellow submarine.
I don't know what it would be like back in the 60s, being a few decades removed from the war, from being on some sort of British naval ship, and experiencing this movie in which guys just dopily drive around a submarine, getting into little fracases. This was, to me, the most terrifying thing in the world, U-boats.
The first 45 minutes of this movie, I loved it. I was delighted.
When would you say that this delight ended?
I'm not a fan of the Nowhere Man, and I really didn't enjoy it when they got to Pepperland, because Pepperland is kind of boring.
Yes.
I think leading up to that point, they were on their way somewhere. And so that really held my interest. And of course, all of these fantastic worlds they passed through were so much fun to watch. And then on top of that, you got Beatles music to listen to. When we get to the war, that just got really tedious.
I did like the Nowhere Man portion of it. The flowers that would trail them and how that phone became flowers at that point. All this stuff makes no sense even in context.
That's the point.
Yeah, I know.
It's a fantasia of colors and images.
Yes, the shots of Liverpool and how they would sink in on each other. This is the only time I've ever seen on film what's known as invisible colors. Where they're doing that little op art trick of like flipping through all the colors. You see colors that we can't see with our naked eye.
The character work left a little to be desired.
Paul's face and his nose was, I think, a really beautiful touch. It's rare that you find a movie that is this fascinating and this dull. The stakes are very high, and yet they're not high at all.
The Blue Meanies have no menace, so you know they're going to be defeated. You know the Beatles aren't going to lose.
Yeah.
Once you get to the conflict, you're like, who cares? I know how this is going to turn out. You know what was my favorite part of the movie? The 1 minute. I just thought that was a great moment of inspiration in a movie that needed more of that.
The real creativity comes with the visuals in this movie. And that's where it ends.
And the use of the music.
I was not a fan of the voice actors. This script was a less than nothing. And they, again, just like with Zabriskie Point, overburdened with talent. But they had 4 or 5 writers.
I really wish the Beatles had done the voices in the cartoon. Because those guys are nothing but personality.
They're naturally funny. And they know how to enunciate and talk loud enough so a microphone can hear them. What do you think it would have been like to see this movie on the big screen?
I would love to see it on the big screen.
Yeah. Just to see the Sea of Holes on the big screen.
Sure.
Would have been so intense.
What did you think of the Beatles' actual appearance in the film?
They're fun. They do their thing.
I don't know. I almost wish that it wasn't there. They're a little too smirky, and it's a little bit like, hey, did you like this stupid movie you just watched? Well, here we are.
Bye.
Bye. Exactly.
I would question showing this to a child, but it's very close to something that is very palatable for children.
There is a really twisted look to the Meanies. Those Meanies that have the mouth in their bellies, they give off a real Hellraiser vibe. Very unpleasant to look at. They're not threatening, but they're unsettling.
The people of Pepperland are unsettling because they're just standing there.
Yeah.
Frozen. Happy.
Fitter. Happier. More productive. Final thoughts on Yellow Submarine.
As far as Beatles projects go, well above Give My Regards to Broad Street, a little bit above Caveman.
When you're sailing around in your submarine, don't descend down to crush depth. Sail into the port that is our website. Welcome to thebasementshow.com. You can see all the episodes we've ever made, all 5.5 seasons of them, and there are PayPal donation buttons. You can click on them to donate to support our show. You can do a one-time donation or a rolling monthly donation. And at this point, I'd like to shout out our most recent monthly donors.
And who's that?
Martha, Eric, Grant, Jacob, and Kendall, who says, greetings from Canada. It has never been so much fun watching someone else watch movies. If you want to find out who the rest of our donors are and see the contents of our mailbag, we got stacks and stacks of boxes. You can watch Unboxing, which comes out this coming Friday. In Unboxing, you will see yet another edition of the Hard Ticket Report, and Craig and I do another one-act play, and it is something special.
It's a one-act play behind bars.
Well, I've seen it.
See it?
Is it seen it?
Yes. I'd hate for you to be in it.
Our theme for Seen It is quote-unquote cartoons. These are live-action movies that have many cartoon-like qualities to them.
PCW Kid 76. writes Duck Soup. Seen it. That's Seen It in Harpo Talk.
Duck Soup is probably the most absurd of their first 5 movies. This is comedy that is built on absurdity, and this one is the top of the heap. The part of the movie where it most reminds me of a cartoon is the final battle scene where Groucho keeps changing outfits. Just from one shot to the next. He's dressed as Daniel Boone, then he's dressed as Napoleon.
He's dressed as a Boy Scout.
Watching that in the 30s, what was this, 35?
Yeah.
Minds were blown all over the theater.
It wasn't a hit movie, and they think that one of the reasons was that the Marx Brothers' job is to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And in this movie, Groucho plays the man. He's still sticking it to everyone left and right. But yes, it's a movie that seems to have gained more importance now as time goes on.
Joe Stevens writes, have you seen Superman 4? I pity you if you have. Seen it.
You don't have to pity me. I've never seen that movie.
You are pity-free.
Yes, I am.
His enemy is a nuclear man, this big blonde lunkhead, who has powers that rival Superman's. There's so many moments of stupidity. The worst being they're fighting at the Great Wall of China. The big meathead destroys part of the wall. Some green rays shoot out of Superman's eyes, and the wall rebuilds itself.
Is he still in the middle of the fight when this is going on?
Yes.
Because that can't wait. The Mongols will get in.
They could still get in. Like the Joel Schumacher Batman movies, they probably were thinking, we want this to be like the comic books. Mm-hmm. Over the top and campy and a little silly. And of course, that doesn't really fly.
What hairstyle, I'm so happy, is gone. That blonde, blown back style.
Yeah.
It's just the hair of assholes. Roger writes, come on, I want to know what you think of Tommy.
Tommy, have you seen it? Yes, I have.
I've mostly seen it. I started watching this movie and it was very late at night and I was like, no, I don't need to finish this.
This is a Ken Russell film. I'm not a big fan. And the worst part was this was my first exposure to Tommy.
Oh.
And I love the album. I think it's probably my favorite Who album. But I saw the movie first. And that kept me away from the original music for a long time because the movie's pretty terrible.
But it's got a hell of a cast to it.
And it's got some great performances. Elton John, Tina Turner, Eric Clapton doing Eyesight for the Blind. But the movie itself is so over the top and cartoony that it's just, I don't like it. And seeing Anne Margaret and all those beans, ugh, I can't get that image out of my head. It's a bean nightmare. Hazy writes, I watched Labyrinth after kidney stone removal. Simply magical. The movie is good too. Seen it.
Seen it.
This was Jennifer Connelly's big screen debut, I believe.
If not her debut, her breakout.
This is a movie that easily could have been animated, but I think the fact that it was live action, I think they carried it off well, just having the little costumed creatures running around.
Well, you have some Jim Henson work going on here.
And the most magical moment of the entire movie for me is this.
Mm-hmm.
The ball, and he's doing that thing, and you don't know, is he really doing it? Is this some kind of effect? Is Bowie that magical in real life that he can do a crazy trick like this? Maybe it's easy to do, I don't know, but I love that shot.
That's Seen It.
And that's our show. We took a trip on a Yellow Submarine, and it was a lot of fun. If you are like us, and you are of advanced age and have yet to see Yellow Submarine, you should go watch it. We had a great time in June watching cartoons with you, and next up is July, and that means only one thing. Sci-Fi July. We hope you'll join us there. We're watching sci-fi movies all month, and we will see you then. Good night.
Good night.
Love? Love? Love?
Yeah, let's just mumble to each other.
Sounds like
Yes, well, glove. Say random words.
You know, I could just break this and make it into clove.
No.
What's the matter, fellas? Blue Meanies?